What's up, guys? It is Chris back with another watch video, and today we have a very cool watch on the channel. This is a Benrus Type 1. It's a reissue of arguably their most famous, their most iconic watch of all time, the Benrus Type 1. And Benrus have a very long history of watchmaking. They were started in 1921 here in New York City. They've had a couple of different ownerships over that time. And in 1972, the United States Department of Defense issued a specification for a mil-spec watch. That was the MIL-W 50717. It was a watch that would be worn by Navy SEALs, Green Berets, CIA operatives, a ton of different departments within the Army. So this would be a very, very important watch, and it would need to be a very robust watch. So they needed a watch that actually could be a dive watch, a pilot's watch, something that could be flown with and dived with, a rugged and very tough watch. Therefore, this would be a very stringent set of requirements. In fact, one of the most stringent set of requirements for a U.S. government wristwatch contract ever. And one of the only brands to actually meet this challenge was Benrus, and they did that with the Type 1 and the Type 2. So getting right into it, this reissue is a limited edition of 1,000 watches, Swiss made. It comes in a really nice packaging. This is just a little canvas sort of watch pouch, and it has the little Benrus logo there, Benrus on the front. Zip enclosure. Of course, inside you get a watch, which is the Type 1, a little bit of a quality control certificate, and then operator's manual and warranty information right there. Just a little booklet, nothing too fancy, a little leather sort of click closure here, and here is the watch. And as you can see, they were very true to the original Type 1. If you are familiar with the original Type 1, vintage versions of that Type 1 on eBay go for around $10,000. They are highly collectible watches. Only about 16,000 examples were made. That is not a lot considering. And like I said, they are very true to that original design. Asymmetrical case, a sterile dial, as you can see, only hour markers and that minute track. Sterile crown, the crown is not signed. That asymmetrical case is due to those crown protectors on the crown side there. Nuzzles in the crown right into the side of the case. A very interesting look of this watch. I think it looks really good. They put BGW9 on the dial. I don't think that there is BGW9 in the aluminum insert on this bezel. The bezel is actually friction fitted. But we'll do a Lume shot at the end so we can check that out. This is friction fitted, very smooth action on here. And obviously it's a 12-hour bezel, so you could use that for timing. The case back is really cool on this, and it's actually kind of custom, I guess you would say. It just gives you the mil-spec on there. That's the 50717, as I mentioned. Type 1 Class A, Benrus. It gives you the serial number there, and then it says November 2020. So this watch was actually produced in November 2020. The serial number on this is number 1, so I think this is the number 1 prototype. And it says US. This is hand assembled here in the United States in Arizona. So you get a Swiss movement, as I mentioned in here, and that is the ETA 2681, which is a slightly smaller version of the 2824. I'm not sure why they did that. It could be because of the asymmetrical case, the case shape itself. It has sort of a bubble back on it. That could be the reason. 300 meters of water resistance on this, and the case is 42 millimeters wide. So it actually is much smaller at the bezel, but including those crown guards, you're at 42 millimeters, 47.5 millimeters lug to lug. So it is a pretty tight lug to lug. And they say it's 15 millimeters thick, but I measured 14.5 millimeters thick. So that's including the domed sapphire crystal that I can measure it, and that's what I got. So, and like I said, 316L stainless steel. This is all bead blasted. So the entire watch is bead blasted, the case back, the case sides, very mil-spec. The only thing that's brushed is this little buckle here. It's brushed and it just says Benrus on there. This is sort of like a NATO strap. It's sort of double thick as well. Very comfortable strap and nice hardware on it. I mentioned that this gets an ETA 2681. It does hack and it does hand wind. You do get a screwed in crown here, obviously, because you have 300 meters water resistance. So does hack, does hand wind. Everything, all the operation is very smooth. Just a really cool watch. I really like the hands on here. They're sort of baton hands, but they're segmented. Look really good. And of course, the indices are not applied. They are just filled with lume. Those are printed on the dial. But of course, that's in keeping with the original look of this watch. So makes total sense to me that they are not applied. So before I do a lume shot and a wrist check, I just wanted to go through the price on this watch. So as I mentioned, this is a limited edition of 1,000 pieces. And the price on here is $1,695. And in my opinion, that is actually a very good price for a very unique watch. And as I mentioned, original versions of this watch are selling for around $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 on eBay and other places. So if you are in the market to get one of those and you do not want to spend that much money, there is an option now, and you can get it from the original maker of the brand, and that is Benrus. You can get one of their watches for $16.95. That isn't that bad. I really think that's a good price, and they did stay true to the original design. It's 300 meters water resistant. It has all the same specs. You're getting an ETA movement in here. It is an automatic. It's a little bit higher grade. It's a little bit smaller movement. The 2681, kind of weird, which I kind of like. I think that's pretty cool that they did that. They didn't take any liberties, really. They really did exactly what they should do when they do a reissue. They stayed true to the original, and there you go. And that's the reason why I think it's actually worth that little bit of extra money. It's a very well-made watch as well. Hand-built in Arizona. You're getting a Swiss movement. I think it's pretty cool. If you ask me, this is a very cool watch. They took it a little bit further and did it in Arizona. I'm not sure why Arizona. They could have done it in anywhere in the United States. I guess Arizona is where they're kind of based. But either way, very, very cool. I really like this watch, and I think it looks really good. And it looks really good on my wrist. So let me show it to you on my wrist very quickly. Today, I am wearing my Omega Speedmaster Mark II, another vintage watch from the 70s. I have this on just a aftermarket bracelet, and I also have the case back that is clear, so you can see the La Magna movement in there. Very, very cool hand-wound chronograph. This was a watch that I got in an estate sale. I have a whole video on that if you are interested. A really good price I got on that. So, as I mentioned, this is 42.5 millimeters. It does not wear like that. And it has a 47 millimeter lug to lug. And again, it actually does not wear like that at all. It wears like a 41 millimeter, maybe. I think it wears really, really good. The lug to lug is great. And that 42.5, it does not wear like a 42.5. It wears smaller than a 42.5. I'm not going to say it wears like a 40 millimeter, but definitely like a 41 millimeter watch. And it does not wear thick either. For some reason, the thickness, you could see how thin it looks on my wrist. It's not that thin. It is actually a 14.5 millimeter thick watch, but that's in part because of that very dome sapphire crystalline in profile. You really can't see that. I think it's a great design, and obviously it is because it's an iconic design. But they did a really excellent job. The fit, the finish, the quality of this watch is really top notch. I really am enjoying it. I think it's a very good looking watch and a lot of history, which is cool. Anyway, I'm going to do a quick lume shot and then we'll wrap up the video. All right, well, there you have it. Lume is actually excellent on here. It's very liberally applied to the hands and indices, and you have a little pip there for orientation in the dark. As you can see, pretty good. So you could even time in the dark if you want to. Very, very good. And as I mentioned, the bezel action on here is really very, very smooth, and it's nice and tight. You definitely can use this. It's a useful bezel. I really like it. Second hand is loomed, hour and minutes. You can see there's little segments on that minute hand. I'll try and do a close-up of that as well. Very good looking watch. Lots of lume on here. I really do think this is pretty good, especially for a major brand. Usually you don't get a lot of lume. This is a pretty good amount of lume. I think they are paying attention. That's a good thing. Anyway, tell me what you think of this watch in the comments below. I will put a link to their website. This was loaned to me. I have to return it to them. So I'm excited about wearing it a little bit. However, I will be very sad to see it go. I have to be honest. This is a very, very cool watch. A watch that I would be very proud to have in my collection. I think it's very cool. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments below. As I mentioned, I really want to hear from you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have a bunch of links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel, and it does not cost you anything extra. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.